getting bleeped at 3 in the morning because a pigeon got let loose in the water.
A patient's either coming to the end of their life or something serious has happened, and I feel like that's always harder when a patient's younger. You had questions, we've got the answers. On today's episode of Coffee on Call, we're going to be taking questions that we've never seen before and answering them live. So my name's Ruby, and here we have...
Hi, I'm Mike.
I'm Elwyn.
And we're going to answer our questions now. Do you want to take it away, Elwyn?
Let's go. So what's one thing med school didn't prepare you for?
Oh.
Oof. Med school didn't really prepare me for the amount of gossip.
So true.
There's a lot of opinions, a lot of things going on, bar, work and everything like that. But yeah, med school is a massive sort of pool of different opinions. There's always something going on, and there's always something. There's a new story after each day in lectures and stuff like that. So that's one thing I wasn't really expecting. What a big community it is, and how many different opinions.
How involved you get in each other's lives.
Yeah. Very, very involved.
So this question is, how do you chill after work? So for me, having a work-life balance is really important. I do a lot to relax after work. I try to go to the gym. I quite like exercising, running, things like that. I used to play a lot of football, but don't really have the time anymore. And apart from that, I like being outside. I like going on walks and things like that. What about you guys? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm quite similar to you. So quite active, going to gym, tennis. I like to keep myself engaged with some sort of activity or something like that. I've been getting more involved with sort of hiking, traveling, that kind of thing. So I just kind of like to do different things and keep it varied.
I'm a DJ, so I like to do that. I like to do that after work sometimes, and also I like to see my friends a lot. So I feel like we'll often either go for a drink or go around for dinner, that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's how I normally spend my time.
Getting a pint.
Do you want to shout out your DJ?
At Dr. Disco. This is tough. My question is, what's one of your most challenging situations? Challenging situation. I feel like for me, it's always explaining to patients' families that we are doing everything we can, but it doesn't look like there's going to be much we can do. So a patient's either coming to the end of their life or something serious has happened, and I feel like that's always harder when a patient's younger sometimes, or when it's not expected.
Yeah.
And often telling people's families is part of the worst bit, most challenging bit of the job.
Yeah, sometimes it really gets you as well, doesn't it? And
especially if you know the patient really well. And I feel like that's where the importance of good communication and clear communication really comes in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always something that sits heavy on your heart, I think.
I think the communication is definitely the hardest part of the job, isn't it? Particularly when maybe the family have one idea and maybe that doesn't quite align with what we're thinking. Yeah. So trying to handle those communications can be really challenging.
Oh, actually, I take it back. So on your first time calling micro, I cried in the toilet because they were really scary. So maybe that was the most challenging bit of my job. Make sure you know what your question is. You're trying to ask them.
Sometimes speaking to other doctors, more senior doctors,
so
can be the most scary thing. Yeah. You just think it's just a phone call, but they proper grill you sometimes.
My next question is, what's the most ridiculous reason you've been bleeped? So this is a great question because basically, obviously, when someone has a job, they bleep it through to the doctor. So that's their way of communicating with us. And sometimes you get really appropriate things and sometimes you get really inappropriate things. I think my most inappropriate thing, it's been like 2 a.m. in the morning and someone's bleeped me about a letter that needs to be written for a patient the next day who's going home at 5 p.m. And you just think, why do I need to do this at 2 a.m.? So that's one of the most frustrating ones when you're really busy anyway. But what about you guys?
For me, getting called at 3 in the morning, getting bleeped at 3 in the morning because a pigeon got let loose in the water, and the nurses were trying to fight around and try and get it out, and they were just like, we can't do anything, so we have to escalate it to me, and I literally had to pause on the phone. I was just like, what do you mean? Came over,
excuse me,
sorted out the situation, and they called me the pigeon man now.
Mine's along the same vein. Excuse me, doctor, the roof's leaking. I'm like, that is one thing I've not been trained for. Does sound like an emergency though. Those things are always quite tough because it's tough to know what is and isn't your job. Okay. How has being a doctor changed you? Ooh. I would like to think that it hasn't. because I would try to live my life hoping that medicine hasn't taken over all of my life. But I feel like it has. I feel like it's given me a lot of patience in my day-to-day life and a lot of curiosity. I feel like especially like med school and things like that teaches you, especially at Leeds, teaches you how to be curious, to ask how, why, what. And I'd say that's generally how I approach my interactions in everyday life now. So I feel like that's something I've taken with me.
Yeah. I would say it's made me more health anxious.
I'm a hypochondriac now.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I've got a bit of chest pain. What's going on here? Yeah, definitely. I think more about my health more than the general public. And sometimes it takes like someone who's a non-medic to make me realise that actually I need to calm down a bit. And
It's like, that's life's life to live in.
I haven't got that really rare genetic disorder that I've read about once in my life.
I think it's interesting what you said though about it not changing you, because like I always think the best people, when I first got into med school, I thought I had to act like a doctor. I thought I almost pretended and became this other person. And the best bit of advice I ever got from a GP was the person you are as a doctor is the same person you are in your day-to-day life. You shouldn't be different people. Just act how you are and be yourself. And so I like to think it hasn't changed me, but I'm probably more tired than I used to be.
Yeah, I've got bigger eye bags than I used to have.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. What gives you the ick? So, ick is quite a popular word now, isn't it? So, what gives me the ick? Quite a few things, to be honest.
In life or in medicine?
To be honest, just rude people. I know it's just a really like obvious one, but like you do meet some people that are like, so obviously some people are the best people, nicest people, brilliant people. Most people are like that, but occasionally you get the odd person that just really like, it's like their job to just annoy you the whole time. So I would say just sometimes difficult colleagues.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think sometimes one of the hardest part about the jobs is dealing with your colleagues, which I think is true of any job, isn't it? And when anyone's having a bad day, they become a little bit shorter, a little bit ruder, and maybe have a lower threshold and lower patience with you. Yeah. And sometimes you have to remind yourself that actually they're probably just having a tough day. That's why they're being rude to me. But equally, you don't really go to work to be spoken to like that. So it's dealing with that sometimes that I find really challenging.
Definitely.
I feel like in medicine as well, there's a lot of conversations like over the phone or over email, not often face to face, like in an office setting. So I feel like that barrier makes people automatically a little bit
They think they can
ruder.
get away with it, don't they?
Yeah, and that can
but
be tough.
when you go to see them face to face, they're
really happy, really
act
smart.
very
Yeah.
differently.
Oh, they're really
So you
nice
shout at
to
me
you.
on the phone, but very different now.
Yeah, I feel like that's some growing up I've had to do, is that not everything is like, if someone's angry, they're probably just having a bad day, and to take a step
And
back.
that's really important.
It's not about you. You've
Not
gotta
cry in the toilet.
Yeah, definitely.
Shall I read the next question?
Yeah.
You can only bring one thing into work. What would it be? Oh, that's a good question. Well, for me, my answer is a stethoscope. I think it's really useful.
Brought to you by Lidl.
Again, such a great doctor.
Well, you can do it without. I really think you can do it. I lost my stethoscope for like 2 days, and I really struggled at work. Actually, I think using it's really.
To be fair, that
important.
happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, you
where
misplace things.
I always see on the chats like, "Oh, I'm missing my stethoscope," and it's just someone's either nicked it because it's like one of the really nice ones.
Yeah,
that
you
cardiology
gotta get your good
doctors
colours.
use. But yeah, what would mine be?
Caffeine, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a bit of coffee.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I use so much. Pens, a really good pen. I love a good
that's
pen.
a good one,
Makes my like, do you know the ones with the 4 ways, like multiple colours,
Oh,
and then I can
yeah.
prioritise my jobs list.
Yeah, but when someone nicks your pen, that's when you get really
devastating.
angry.
Yeah,
That's one of my biggest
and then you
icks.
see it on ward round, and you're like, "You've got my pen."
Yeah.
Do you ever flex that you're a doctor? Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. But yeah, I've done this once, and it was trying to get an upgrade to on the airplane. I was like, just talk
Did it
about
work?
the fact. No, of course it didn't work.
You
ever flex these?
you just need more aura.
Yeah, I need a more business class mindset. Have you guys ever flexed that you're a doctor? Maybe at the doctors so they can talk to you normally. Like I
I've
would
done
try
that
to slip
before
it in.
at the GP.
Yeah, when you're like, I just talk to me like a.
I'm not going to obviously say why I went to the GP, but I had a situation where I just felt like the GP was being a bit, not thorough, and I just had to sort of say that, I'm a doctor, and then they suddenly changed the whole everything. So I guess that would be my example of flexing as a doctor. It's not obviously flexing, but it changed the consultation.
Yeah, it changes the way people talk to you, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that brings us to a close of your questions and our answers. We hope you enjoyed hearing little quick-fire snippets of day-to-day life.